Good Thursday morning, 220 students. I apologize, I did tape this video and I thought I loaded it on Monday, but the link didn't work, and so I don't know what happened, but I am going to re-record it. So welcome to the next week in English 220. As you probably saw already from my opening message, this week is kind of dedicated to working on whatever project you're sort of invested in at this point, or what place you've reached in the class. So I think a major priority right now is turning in a revision for Essay 1. I did grade all of the ones that I received by yesterday. So those grades are in, and what I'd say about those grades are, I think this was a really strong batch of essays. I think many of you took the comments from myself and your peers and applied them. I think the biggest issue I saw was with formatting, in-text citations, and works cited sheet. And you certainly got points taken off if your essay fell kind of below that 5-page mark. If you turned in more like 4 pages, I feel like that's still draft mode because it's not really complete yet. So those are some of the things I noticed, and if you need any assistance with APA or MLA, please let me know and I'll give sort of another tutorial on it. I think the other thing probably was just sentence clarity, making sure you read through your essays out loud before you submit them. Something looks really good on the screen, but then when you read it out loud, you're like, oh, that sentence is a complete mess. It happens to me all the time, and when I don't take the time to read things back to myself out loud, I find that I have language that's unclear and sentences that are garbled. So I think it's really important to read your writing out loud before you submit it, and you're going to catch some of these things. And then the other piece I felt like I commented on was just organization. I think that's what revisions are all about, is that you find the focal point of your essay, and once you find that focal point, you're able to then, the essay kind of falls into place. So I talked to some of you about where's the focus of this essay, can we organize it better? But all in all, I thought this was a strong batch of essays. I do want to say that I am a little bit firmer on your formal essays than I am on other assignments in the class. And the reason for that is that it's really important to me that the finished product, after all of this work and all of these small pieces come together, is really a product that really is a strong academic research essay. It's work that I think students need before they graduate. It's work that if you're transferring to another college, they're going to expect from you. And so I have to sort of be the gatekeeper of academic writing and research, and to ensure that you really have achieved that level of competency in this class. So you might find that the formal essays are graded a little bit more firmly than the other assignments in the class. And if you need any feedback on your individual grades, please feel free to call, text, pop by, email me, and I can give you further clarity. So we are moving then on to Essay 2 revision, and I'm trying to get those comments loaded for you by Friday afternoon. And like I said, I'm sort of giving suggested deadlines at this point because I want you to move through the class from the point in which you're at. I also don't want you to fall too far behind, so I think you need to sort of self-reflect and see where you are. So we have one more essay to draft, Essay 3. In Essay 3, just be the nature of wrapping up the essay wrapping up the semester. You've had a lot of feedback on other work. Essay 3 kind of turns around a little bit quickly. It would kind of bump up against the end of the semester. So I think you want to be thoughtful about time managing that last essay. So, and you have the guide already for you. The research exercise has been loaded. So you can really move as much into Essay 3 as you like at this point if you're at that place. So Essay 2, I'm going to try to load comments by Friday. Take whatever time you need with that revision. And then I'd like us to try to draft Essay 3, I think I said into sort of week 11. So the due dates, the suggested due dates are in my introduction. And again, I think we're at a place where self-pacing is really important, being self-aware, time managing, and making sure that we get the best version of Essay 1 and 2, and that you've begun to think about drafting Essay 3, which is our final project in the class. So Essay 2, what I've been seeing is that primarily I think I'm giving some feedback on finding some more thorough, more satisfying, more research solutions. So I think we've set the context of the problem relatively well. And now the most persuasive, most important part of the essay is to offer solutions, to offer, like I said, you're not going to fix this all at once, but how do we move forward on this issue in a productive way? And those are the types of solutions or suggestions and conclusions we want at the end of this essay. And people have been working to solve these problems for a really long time. So these solutions that you're proposing really need to be backed up by research and evidence. This is a logos argument, so even though you're dealing in very, very pathos conflicts, in the end we want to, and that's why we did the all dogs go to heaven, we want this really to be a logical argument. What can we do that's practical and realistic, and to really kind of, even if the two sides are conflicted, we're sort of, logic helps move some of that forward. So those are some of the comments I made that I'm making on Essay 2. Essay 3, I haven't gotten a lot of questions about, maybe because you know what you're doing, hopefully. But yeah, Essay 3, like I said, I think the most important thing about Essay 3 is that it does not turn into sort of a poster board for why you should become a nurse, or why you should become a writer, or why you should become a welder, right? It's not for a career fair. It's really about and having an academic voice and conversation about what, let's just say nurses, what nurses contribute to society, what they're challenged by, and what innovative, great things they're gonna offer the future, what this profession is gonna do. And just ask those questions about your own profession. So that's where the research should be centered around contributions, challenges, and then opportunities or innovations in your field. And it's not written in I voice, I narrative at all. It's still an academic research paper where you're presenting forward those contributions, those challenges, and those innovations. And I want you to think outside the box about the innovations. Like, this is exciting. You are going into fields that really, all of them can and will change the world. How are they going to do that? Just think about nurses, for example, just because it's an easy example, not an easy example, but it's a good example. We're in the middle of an opioid crisis. We're in the middle of a mental health crisis. Our ERs are jam-packed. What can the nursing field do to alleviate some of that? How are they going to be caretakers to this? So sometimes it's about thinking about some of the problems of the world, and how is your profession going to apply their skill set to those problems. So I think that's kind of it in a nutshell right now. I am available. A few of you have taken me up on it in the library. I've been advising, but I can take student appointments to talk about writing, to talk about Essay 1, 2, or 3. And yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. I think many of you are progressing really well, and I sort of look forward to seeing how the next project will be shaped. So stay in touch, let me know how I can help, and I look forward to seeing kind of what's happening. All right, thank you.